Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's look at Miranda. She will be coming out later this week in Global, so let's do a review. It'll be kind of in the same style as the Sasayaki review that I just did. Miranda, she can do a lot of stuff, but she's actually pretty straightforward to prep and use, so let's have a look. And Miranda is my favorite unit because she's that perfect combination of looking great, like I like her visual design, but she also plays great, and she fits my playstyle. I like tomboys, I like short hair, I like women in men's clothes. It makes me all the more curious to find their femininity, if you know what I mean. In real life, I've known women like Lucia or Bineta, and then although I say I liked the oversexed Onesans, in real life they're kind of intimidating, like their femininity is just right in your face. But Miranda, I feel like, in real life, I could just hang out, we could have some hobbies in common, maybe laugh at the same jokes, that kind of thing. But yes, that is way too much information. Anyway, if you've seen my gameplay videos from the past few months, you've seen me use Miranda a lot, in almost every situation. But she is main job red mage, which means a mix of white and black magic. And we can go to her ability sets. She has few skills overall. You can't even scroll this. But the skills that she has are great, and perform well in PvP even with all skills on. I'm not sure why, maybe it's just a well-designed unit, but even in the auto-battle PvP, she always seems to be doing the right thing. But for White Mage, she has Cura. It's not as good as Curaga, but it's not as expensive either. Has an area of effect, and then heals people a pretty good amount. And then for her, I recommend raising her Faith, because she is primarily a magic user, so you want to get more use out of there. She does not have a raise spell, which actually I don't miss. I never really use that spell in Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre, and the same thing here. For Black Mage, she has Watera, and that instantly makes her the #1 water mage in the game for now. And I kind of wish that she had more varieties of these spells, like maybe the single target cure or the single target water, but it's a minor complaint. And then she has a Jamming Thrust, which is one of the best attacks in the game. You could think of it as a magic damage shuriken. Long range, cheap AP cost, many uses per battle, no casting time, good damage. It's a great attack for almost every situation, including farming easy quests. And it's better than shuriken in a couple ways. It has an element, so it can chain better, and it does magic damage, so against like traditional tanks like Mont or Engelbert or Nasia, it can do real damage. They're weak to magic. I wouldn't exactly call Miranda a tank killer, but she's effective. And then here she has a Spirit Break. I've never used it, maybe if it had a better range. And then a Fast Cast. You can cast this on a teammate to speed up their casting time. But it might be better to use like Haste or something from her Time Mage job. So as you can see, I've turned it off here. And then let's look at her Red Mage subjob. And she only has 2 spells here, which is pretty crazy. And then both of these are super niche. So actually you're usually never going to use this Red Mage subjob. But here's Sleep, that's not something that you really need. And then Esuna, sometimes this does come in handy. There was an EX floor in the tower where you really needed as many people with Esuna as you could get. So I did double up on Red Mage for that floor. But otherwise I've never used this subjob. And next, let's talk about her Paladin subjob. She actually has the skills to be a tank, but she doesn't really have the stats. Sentinel, that's one of my favorite skills for a tank. Also Attract Blade to raise her Provoke. And then Immortal Spirit, Undying Spirit, that's the Guts attack. These 3 are all the kind of ones that I want for a physical tank. But although her HP is high for a magic user, they're not high for a tank, so you really shouldn't use her like that. And so I've actually never used the Paladin subjob, but there is one situation where I could see myself using it in the future, and that would be for water/attacks. So we see here with the attract blade, we get the water slash icon there, and then a blade bash also, water slash. And so if there's ever a boss for like a raid or a high difficulty quest who is weak to water slash attacks, then it might be worth turning on this paladin subjob in order to get access to those attacks. If we think back to her red mage skills, like her Watera and her jamming thrust, those are both magic types, so they won't chain with slash attacks. And then I actually used Engelbert in this way so that he could chain with my Rob, because there was a raid boss that was weak to light slash attacks, and I didn't have Thancred or Ramza, so Engelbert with his paladin job was able to step in there. But that leaves the Time Mage subjob, which you are probably going to use 95% of the time. And that's part of the reason why she is so easy to prep and use. Time Mage is one of the best jobs in the game, because at any rarity level, those units are useful. So like Phoebe, Helena, etc. But to get access to those spells in a pretty durable package in Miranda is pretty wonderful. Let's see, the marquee spells here are Haste and Quick. I don't think I even need to talk about them, but they speed up your other characters. And they also give Miranda something to do in those early turns of PvP, when the opponent is still far away. And then I do want to shout out Comet. This is low-key one of her best skills, and I've had her use it a ton, and it's helped me a ton, so don't ignore this. Don't put off leveling it up. Compared to Jamming Thrust, it does have some disadvantages, like a casting time for being a spell, and then no elements, so it's not as good for chaining. But it still casts very quickly for a magic spell. It has a similar range, and then it costs half as much AP almost, so it's a great spell. I use it a lot. Next, let's look at her Limit Break, and I think this is one of the best in the game. It's short range, but it's AoE, so it'll hit everybody in these yellow squares. Does pretty good damage, and then it has a high chance to confuse. This is great when you can position her among a lot of enemies and then confuse them all. And when they are confused, they're basically taken out of the battle for a couple rounds, which will give you time to heal, or buff, or take down other guys, or whatever. And I think this Limit Break alone helped me get my first clear of the Challenge Iron Giant quest, which was pretty tough. That should be coming soon to Global. But yeah, really useful Limit Break, and I would recommend leveling it after Mediana and Ayaka. Let's talk about support skills real quick. I have this one. This will speed up the casting time. Actually, I don't think I need this. And then the other one, this is an HP and defense up. This is from her Paladin subjob, so finally it's coming in handy. And what else we got? This is resistance to magic breaks. Hasn't come in handy yet. This is resistance to slow, stop, haste, and quick. I don't know if that's so great. And then here, this is a greater AP at the beginning of the battle. This could be good for her, so that she can use more spells. She actually doesn't kind of have the best passive skills overall, but oh well. And then for reaction skills, I have the magic Mikiri. That's that kind of dodge everything skill. Not as good as the regular Mikiri, which can dodge both physical and magic, but still pretty good. And then slow counter, and then paladin guard. So lots of defensive skills. Okay, next let's talk about builds. Let's go to the team building screen. Okay, great, here's Miranda. So, you want a magic sword for her. Excalibur and Metal Slayer, they will work in a pinch. And they do have nice accuracy and evade respectively, if you need that. But overall, a Magic Nagnarok or a Sleep Blade will be better. They have higher magic values. And then let's look at her Trustmaster. This is pretty great. But this is a light piece of armor, which gives you almost 500 HP, so that's pretty crazy. You can imagine putting 500 HP on your mages, your thieves, your ninjas, your gunners, so Yeah, that's a very nice boost there. And then the active skill is a buff, and it will raise both magic attack and slash attack, which is like 90% of characters in the game. So this is very useful, and it's useful for Miranda herself. But yeah, to be honest, Miranda is so good with so few weaknesses that besides the magic sword, you can really give her anything because you don't have anything to cover, really. So if I wanted to, I could give her this one. This is Etoa's Trustmaster for agility up. Or I could give her Mont's Trustmaster if I wanted more defense and spirit. I really like this one a lot. This is from Salia, that future MR Lightning Element Mage. But this will give you Magic Maneater. And so yeah, since I use Miranda a lot in PvP, the Maneater will always come in handy. If you're facing an evade team, you can give her this one for more accuracy. You could also give Soshia's Dragon Boots. If you need element resistance, you can get wind resistance here, lightning resistance here. For accuracy, you could give her evade. You could equip the wizard's hat. For magic defense, you could do the smart coat. Yeah, just pretty much give her anything. Let her rip. Speaking of element resistance, some people are saying that because she is weak to lightning, she is dead on arrival, because there are so many Federicas and Orlandus running around. Of course, this is completely ignorant to how the game works, so you can ignore all the people saying that. Yes, she is weak to Orlandu and Federica, but if you see them in arena or guild battles, just don't fight them. It's that simple. Also, all units are weak to something, but that shouldn't stop you from using a character you like. And then, you know, even though maybe lightning element units are at the top of the meta right now, that meta will shift. And it's actually gotten to a place in JP where I don't really see Federica anymore. And then Orlandu, you know, there's the Orlandu Slayer, Kidufe, running around. But even though there's a lot of Kidufe, I still see a lot of people using Orlandu, so not a problem. But if you did want to guard against Orlandu, you could use this Trustmaster that I just showed. This will give you lightning resistance plus 10. And yeah, pretty good defense there as well. You could give her the Ramu Vision card like I have here. Additionally, you could give her, I think it's the Golem Esper. Yeah, this will give you lightning resistance as well. And then also defense, HP, and then Maneater if you like. So yeah, lots of good things for Miranda there. Another good Esper choice could be Shiva, that will give you magic up and then some evade. This is a little bit in the future, but Diablos also raise magic damage and then also slash resistance. For vision cards, besides Ramu, you could give Siren. This will raise water attacks by 24. So outside of Comet, this will increase the damage for all of those. And then to raise it by 24 is pretty good. I mean, you look at Ifrit right here, another UR card. This only raises the fire attack by 4. So to compare that to 24, that's pretty good. Or you could give her, you know, any magic up UR card. I don't know if she really needs the cards which will reduce the casting time, since she's usually using the Jammer Thrust anyway. But yeah, as for roles, she can be your attacker, your healer, and your time mage, so you can kind of think of her as like combining Mediana, Ayaka, and Phoebe into one character. Maybe that's kind of overstating it, but yeah, she's just really versatile. And again, because you really want to use her time mage 95% of the time, and because her equipment options are so open, she's easy to use, and then she performs really well in PvP, so I can highly recommend the character. Okay, but I think that will do it for my review of Miranda. If you decide to go after her, good luck with that. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.